Good morning, friends. How are you today? Grandma Nancy here at the Grand Rapids Area Library, and today we're doing a fun project with winter trees. We're going to try some of the winter trees with snow on the trees, so that'll be really fun. Hopefully you've picked up your artist kit, and if you haven't, come on down to the Grand Rapids Area Library and pick that up. We'll open it up and see what's inside there. That's always exciting. You have paper, the nice heavy watercolor paper, 2 sheets, and then another lighter paper. So you'll have those sheets. You can put those to the side. Then we have a white crayon and a pencil. So just one crayon today. We're going to concentrate on snow. So that'll be the white. Then our last 2 things, we have a nice brand new watercolor set. And again, these are fun. We won't use all the colors, so you'll have watercolors to do additional artwork, and I hope you'll do that. And then my favorite part of this kit is a math tool. So this is a ruler. It's used to measure. And people use rulers for all kinds of things, not just measuring. They also use it just for a nice, clean, straight edge to make a nice, clean, straight line. That's how we're going to use the ruler today. So if you haven't used a ruler before, before we start, you might want to just try making some lines, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. You could use your lighter paper to just practice drawing lines. I used a ruler yesterday with some kids, and we found that you really have to hold it down straight on the paper and kind of hold it tight so it doesn't move around, but I'll show you that. Then after we do this kit, I was thinking, boy, now they have this great ruler. So I'll show you some kind of other art activities you could do with the ruler besides the project we're doing today. You can also do some fun measurement things. You could go around your house and say, find something that's almost 6 inches. So then you'll learn what 6 inches looks like. This is the standard measurement of inches, and this is the metric measurement there. Okay? All right, so let's get ready. I think you will also be needing a small container with water so we can keep our brush nice and fresh, okay? All right. All right, hopefully you have all your supplies set up. I'm going to show you an example of what we're going to do. I was thinking about a project for today, and I picked this because we've had a great snow year this year. There's lots of wonderful snow out there, and I can't keep my eyes off of the pine trees, the conifer trees that have needles, and I think you know what I'm talking about. The Christmas trees out there, they are so beautiful when they're covered with snow. Once a wind comes up, the snow, often gets off of it, but I like looking at all the ways that the snow has landed on the branches. So that's what we're gonna kind of do today. I try to think, you know how people watch clouds and they say, oh, that looks like a puppy dog. I do that too, by the way. But if you look at the pine trees and you see how the snow has landed, sometimes you can almost see something. I saw a heart the other day made out of snow on the tree. So we're gonna kind of go we're gonna do some designs that really aren't on pine trees, but with the beautiful snow, it almost looks like they are, if that makes sense. And we're using just the white crayon. We'll put color in when we do our paints, okay? So I think you'll really enjoy that. All right, so first of all, if you have that light paper and we want to just try using our ruler. Now today we're using our ruler as a straight edge to just make a straight line. We're not going to measure. You know, you could if you wanted to, but we're really just gonna make a straight line. So I lay my ruler on the paper, and then I put my left hand, because I'm right-handed, and you would put your right hand if you're left-handed when you draw. So I just put my right hand down, and you can see how I spread my fingers. This is not moving. We don't want it to move because then our line will move. And then I just run my pencil, and you can see I'm doing it pretty slowly because I want a nice straight line, okay? So if you want to practice making some lines, and then I'm going to go this way. This is going to be a long line, but it's a good practice. And I just run it down, okay? So practice that just a little bit. And then we'll take out a watercolor paper. And we're gonna have to slant this. Do you see how it's at a slant? Because our trees are going to be triangular shaped. And a triangle has 1, 2, 3 sides, and then 1, 2, 3 corners or angles. So this is what we're gonna do is just start with one. We're gonna start with our largest tree. I think it'll be good to make a really big one, and then we'll make some smaller ones, okay? And you'll be able to make as many as you want. I have it angled. I think I want it a little bit more angled, so I'm just gonna push it a little bit. And before I make a line, I wanna really look at that. Do I like that? I do, so I'm gonna go. Again, holding it down. I want you to use your pencil lightly, if you can. Use your pencil lightly and slowly, because we want to make that nice line. And I'm watching and kind of visualizing how big my tree is going to be. I keep my ruler nice and tight. Now this is the fun part. You're going to go slowly. You can push harder than you did with the pencil because we're trying to not have the pencil line show so much. And then we're gonna take the white crayon. We're gonna end right where we did the pencil. And we're gonna go back up. We want a nice, thick white line. Come down one more time. Nice and slowly. You're pushing a little hard. And you can see that you can't see the white line, right? But we know it's there. So now I want my other side to match. So I'm gonna, to be sure it matches when it gets down here, I'm gonna do the bottom line right now. So do you see where you ended here? You're gonna put your straight edge or ruler right on that. Hold it tightly. This will be the bottom line of the tree. And maybe you have an adult that can help you get that lined up. Very lightly. Now I'm going to have to decide how wide I want my tree. Oh, a little wider. I'm stopping there. Then I'm taking my white crayon and I'm going across. I'm holding my ruler tightly. I'm pushing down heavily with my white crayon because I want a nice white thick line. And we know it's gonna be hard to see when we lift up, but it's there. Okay, it is there. All right, so I have one side and the bottom. Now I have to connect this to match it, right? So I'm gonna connect right there where that line ended and this line ended. And I'm gonna make a nice line. Oh, wow, I like my triangle. Whoops, I shouldn't have taken my ruler off. Sometimes it's difficult to line it back up, but that's okay. All right, again, you come down. The straight edge helps you know where your line should go and the pencil line, because you really can't tell, can you? Okay, I feel good about that line. I'm gonna make it just a little bit thicker. All right, I have one triangle done. I'm gonna kind of hold it up like this so I can see the white crayon. I can, that looks good. Now, I also can make a little stump down here, and you can use your straight edge again. You could just, you know, draw your lines, but I think I'm going to free draw it without the straight edge. You do what you want. I'm just gonna come down and across and just make that light. And then I'll be painting that in. Okay, I need trees in the background, so I'm gonna make them smaller. I think I also will make a tree behind this tree, okay? So that's going to be a little bit trickier. I'm going to start with one side first. If this doesn't work for you, you can go ahead and just make another one over there, but just watch this. I think you can do it. I'm gonna make a line. This is one side. This is the left side of my tree I'm making right now. I want this tree to be smaller than the tree I've done. And I want it to look like it's coming from behind my bigger tree, okay? Then I'll take my straight edge and I'm gonna come out here. Now I'm making the right side of this tree. So I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come down a little bit further than this other line, because if you remember, I said this little tree is behind this big tree. Because when you look in the forest, you can see that, can't you? Come down very lightly. And then I'm gonna come down with my white crayon, up with my right crayon, down again. Okay, now to make the bottom of the tree, I just have to go like this. You can see the part of this tree that's behind, can't you? See, that little corner would be right there. And there I have a small tree going like this, okay? And I'm going to add a trunk, but you know what? It's only part of the trunk, okay? All right, and I think I will make a tree that goes off the paper, okay? I always like doing that. So this time, I'm gonna make the tree on this side. You could make it on this side, doesn't matter, you choose. I have more room on this side, I think, or I just like this side for this tree. So I'm not gonna make the left side of the tree because it's off the paper. I'll make the right side of the tree. So I'll go like this, making a line that's slanted. This will be the right side of the tree. And I'll come right about here. That seems good. Then I'll make a white line, come down, seems good. Come back, so I have that. Come back, we want that nice, thick white line. You're pushing, I'm pushing pretty hard. You can see how much crayon I've used. And if your crayon breaks, guess what? That's okay, right? Now all I have to do is make the bottom of my tree. And there I've done the bottom of my tree. And then I'm gonna come across nice and hard, come across. There you go. Okay, it needs a trunk, but it doesn't have to be a full trunk again. I kind of like that. I'm gonna make this trunk a little bit longer because they're not all the same, right? Okay, so there you go. I think I'm gonna make a couple teeny trees in the back because it just seems like we should have a couple little ones back here. Remember, you decide how many you want. You just want to make sure that you don't get too carried away because we're going to decorate these. Oh, I want to make my bottom first, don't I? We're going to decorate these, so you want to make sure that you haven't made too much that you can't finish the snowy decorations on them. And then we connect here. Okay, that's a little tricky connection, isn't it? It's okay. Little trees are hard to make. Just a little baby tree right here. But you know, when you're in the forest, you see little baby trees, don't you? And I'll make a trunk. Maybe it needs another one that's a little taller. The little one is behind the big one here. Okay. If you want to just keep your tape running while I do mine, you can be working on yours too, okay? We'll get done, and then we'll be ready to decorate. And if you need to pause the tape, that's fine too. Okay, I like my forest. And then you decide what you want with your forest. Okay, when your trees are done, you'll take your white crayon, and it's a little bit tricky because you can't really see the white that great, but you can tell where it is by feeling it lightly, or you can see it a little bit. You're gonna sort of remember the line you made, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna start decorating my trees, and it's not really Christmas decorations we're doing. We're trying to do snowy decorations on the trees. This is a winter scene. You've probably been in the car and you've seen a lot of pine trees this year that are just gorgeous. They're just loaded with snow. So that's what we're going to be thinking about, is how can I get snow on these trees in a very decorative way, okay? I'm gonna start up here. You can do whatever you want, And I'm just gonna make a squiggly line going down. I like squiggly lines. And I ended right there. Again, I tilt it like that and I can see what I've done. I like it. Now I'm gonna make another squiggly line. You don't have to make squiggly lines. You can make whatever you want. And another squiggly line. And I know this needs more snow, I can tell. So I'm just gonna make some round dots. And when you make these round circles, if you choose to make them, make sure you're filling them in all the way, because then the paint will repel off these. I'm just gonna finish this tree, and then I'm gonna actually paint it so you can see how it looks when you paint over it. Okay. I know I need more, I just can't really figure out where I need more, so I'll just put there. Okay, so now I'm going to show you before I decorate these other trees, just so you know what it's going to look like. And can I get this? I have to get my brush out. Okay, there you go. My brush is out. And I'm gonna take the cover off today because I'm gonna show you a little extra trick My cover just popped off, but yours will probably open up fine, so you can lay it like that. But we do want the cover flat today. Okay, so I'm going to my green. And if you remember, the new paint has a coating on it. So we want to make sure we get plenty of water and get that nice and get a lot of paint on there. And now I'm going to paint. Watch what happens. I love this. It's like magic. It's like absolute magic. Do you see where the white paint is? Or the white crayon, sorry. White crayon is, and it's repelling off of that white crayon that I put on. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Just gorgeous. Whoops. I spilled a little bit, but it doesn't matter because I'll let that dry and then paint right over that. Oh, for pretty. I like it. Now, as I'm painting here, I wish I would have done more of these little white circles. I wish I would have done more, but I didn't, so it's fine. Just think about it when you're doing it. You want to make sure you have enough so you're going to have a really pleasing design there, okay? All right. Okay, that's what it'll look like. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more decorations on a couple more of these trees, and then we will come back, join back again before we do the background. Okay, so this time I actually am going to use my straight edge again, okay? You don't have to, it's just another technique that I can show you. I'm not gonna do pencil at all though, and I'm going to make some lines. So these actually look like they might be under branches on the tree. They could be under branches. Okay, and I've done lines all the way down there. Now, all trees aren't the exact same green, so here's what we're gonna do today, which is super fun. We're gonna mix some colors, okay? It's a little tricky, and you might get muddy water, but you can just make sure you clean that up. I'm gonna start with yellow because it's the lightest, and I actually put it over here on my tray. Do you see how I'm picking up some paint and putting it over here? Okay. Then I rinse my brush, and I'm gonna put a little bit of green in there. Do you see what I've done? I've made a different green, just like really simply. I want more yellow. Oops, I ran a little green in there, that's okay. And then I have a whole brand new green. It's different. Let's see how different it is. Oh, yes, 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 I like this. So you can try that today. Try to make a new color green if you want to, okay? And then I'll just paint that over. That had just a simple design on that tree, and that's totally fine, okay? So you may use your straight edge to make lines. You may just do a simple thing with your crayons, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to let you work for a few minutes, and then we'll come back. I'm just making a squiggly little design on this one. Okay. Let me try something before you go. I'm going to put some yellow here. It's very fun to mix colors, so I just can't resist. And then I'm going to try some blue, because when you mix blue and yellow, you get green. Look at that interesting green. It's almost like that, but not quite. I like it. And so then I'll paint here. And I'll paint here. So certainly when you're out in the woods, the trees aren't going to look exactly like this, but this is definitely an artistic way to view those trees. All right, we will come back in just a moment. You work on your trees. All right, so I feel good about my trees, and you just take a look at yours and decide, do I need more trees or do I need fewer trees? I counted my trees just now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a kind of an artist theory that things look better when it's an odd number of items instead of an even number of items. So I made 7, and I like it. I could make some more, so you have to decide what you want to do. It's your artwork. If you want more trees on yours, put more trees on yours. I'm gonna leave it like this for now because I want to show you, I want some empty spaces so I can show you how to make snowflakes, different ways you can make snowflakes. We also need these trees. They're just kind of floating out in the air, aren't they? We need some ground. I'm not gonna make a straight line for the ground. I'm going to make this is a hilly forest. So I'm gonna make this white line up here, and I make it curved like that, and I didn't make it all the way across. That's where these trees are standing. I'm gonna make another one of those here, stop at that tree, then I wanna come over here, and I'm gonna make some hills down here. It's just gonna give it some depth. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my white crayon, put it a little bit on the edge, and I know I can feel my white line. This part all down here, I want it to be the ground. I don't wanna, do the whole thing with white, but I'm gonna do with my crayon sideways so I can get quite a bit of coloring in. And I'm just coloring here. I'm just doing white, you can tell. And I had a line there. I want to be right by that line if I can. And I'm going to go back and forth quite a bit so I can get, I believe that's where the line is. And if it's not, it's okay. I want it to really look like snow. Oh, look, my crayon needs unwrapping. So I'm gonna unwrap it because I have to get using a lot of white crayon today, aren't we? Okay, so now you see that, right? You can see that? So I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna come up here a little bit too. This will represent the ground. And I know it's not going to be fully covered. I know when I do my blue for the background that there'll be some spaces in there, and that's actually what I want. It's actually what I want. Okay, where was this line up here? Right there. I want to be a little bit, want to get that a little bit better in there too. Okay, I'm going to tilt it so I can see. I can't see that well, so I'm just going to say it's good. I might come back in a little bit once in a while. Now I'm going to show you how you can make snowflakes. You can just make round balls, and it's kind of fun to make snowflakes like that because I know I make a circle and then I slowly come in. I want the whole thing to be filled. The whole thing to be filled. Because these trees are beautiful because the snow is falling on them, right? This might take a while. I think you're actually, the more snowflakes you make, the better it is. But you kind of have to keep track of where you've made them. Okay. You want to keep track. Oh, my crayon just broke, but remember, it doesn't matter. I feel like I'm getting a lot of great snowflakes in here. I'm gonna put some right next to the trees because of course they're gonna fall right next to the trees, right? Okay, I feel good about that. I'm just gonna move it to the side for a second because I wanna show you, and you won't be able to see with the white crayon. I wanna show you how you can make a snowflake. You would do it with the white crayon. You just make an X that's kind of wide, and then you cross again. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is how many sides the snowflake has. And then you're gonna add items to make it look like a snowflake. This is a little bit difficult to do with a crayon, especially a white crayon when you can't really see it, but I thought you might have fun doing this with another project or something. Did I do that one? Nope. So like that. You're just, what you do to one, you have to do to every section, okay? So what you do to one section, you have to do to every section. And then you're just making it really a fun little snowflake, okay? And anything you want to do, you can do. So that's just another way. All right. Okay, let me think. Do I have enough? I'm gonna feel it with my hands. I need a snowflake right there, I think. Okay. Now for the magic. I'm gonna paint my background blue, I think. But you could also paint it purple. Purple would be really cool too. Let me start and see what I like with the blue. I have to get a little bit of, got a little bit of green there. So I want to get that off. Got a little bit of green in my blue. That was from before when I was mixing that green. I hope you had fun with that. Okay, I want this to be pretty watery. So I'm actually adding water to that section there. Can you see how watery it is? Yeah? Okay. All right. I'm going to start down here, and what you're going to do is just come across with nice, oh, look at, see, it's magic. You're going to come across with nice lines, and it's filling in, it's filling that in. And I just go back and forth with nice lines. And let's see where I'm gonna end. Oh, I caught a snowflake. Nice, there's one of my snowflakes. Go down here. So you can see this is snow-covered ground because it's got a lot of my white lines. If you haven't done your white, make sure you go to the edge. I didn't go to the edge quite well enough, which is okay. Snow actually looks blue. When you look out at it, you can see the blue. Okay. Let's see how far up I want to go here. Right about there. Isn't it? It's so magical because you really don't know what you're gonna get with where you put the white, and then you feel really happy about what you have. I certainly do. Okay, so, and you remember where I spilt that green? Look what I just did. I just got rid of that. You can do this. You don't have to. Remember I just said you could do blue on your background, or you could do purple if you wanted. I'm gonna actually do this ground part with the blue, and then I'm gonna do purple with the sky, but right now I wanna do this little bit. I'm just experimenting, and you can do that too. Okay, now I'm gonna get my purple. This purple has not been used at all, so I wanna get that coating off, and I want to get it really watered down. I want this to be really watery. Okay, I have it. And here we go. Oh, look at that. I like that purple. I like that purple. I do like that purple. Yes, I do. So I do have a purple sky, which we do get purple skies. And then I have a blue bottom. Now, if you don't like it two different colors, don't do it two different colors. You can do whatever you want. Because again, if you look at this sample, it's all blue, and I love that look. But I just thought I'd try something different. And I love when I should have had a snowflake there. I love when you're going and then there's a snowflake. Oh, there should be a snowflake there. There it is. Okay. And you can see that the paint isn't totally evenly put on. It gets thicker in some places, so it kind of gives you the look of a sky, doesn't it? And then I'm gonna go over here, see what happens when I get this purple by the blue. I'll just I want them to sort of mix a little bit. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. If you do colors like this and you're gonna come up right next to the other one and they're gonna mix a little bit, be careful what colors that you're doing that with. For example, purple and blue work really well together. If you did yellow and orange, it would work really well together. But some colors you're just gonna make a little muddy look, and you don't wanna do that. Okay? Let's see. All right. So now you have 2 sheets of this paper, and it would be really fun to do another one of something different. You could do a snowman, or whatever you wanted to do. You could do kids sledding. And there you go. Thank you for joining us at the Grand Rapids Area Library this morning. It's a nice cold morning out to do an art project. Hopefully it'll warm up this afternoon and you can get outside a little bit. I also hope that when you do get outside, or when you're traveling in the car with mom and dad, you check out those pine trees, those conifer trees, and look at the beautiful snow on them. It's my favorite thing when there's a snowstorm, or even when it's just a little bit of snow, an inch or so like we got the other day. that's the first thing I do before I look at the sidewalk to measure it. I look at the conifer trees in our yard, and they're just really, really gorgeous. Now, some people, you know, my husband sometimes complains about the snow because he has to shovel, but it's really beautiful and it's fun to play in. And so I hope you can enjoy the snow and find some creatures and designs in the piles of snow on the trees. All right, we will see you again at the Grand Rapids Area Library next month. Thank you for joining us today.